Gone.
I'm gone?
Yep. Twitch might come back. YouTube ended.
Look at this. Look at this.
I can't. I can't look at anything. Oh, yeah, you're live again. Commercial.
Can you see my screen now? Or my
Commercial. Commercial.
a long commercial?
Yep. I see Minotaur feet.
Look at that. Oh, now it's 26. It was dropping frames 87%.
Mm.
But look, it says I haven't been interrupted. It doesn't even view as a stopping. 5 hour and 20. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Something whack going on. But I keep getting notifications on my restream that look at Steve Lord Corson. Yeah, it seems to a little. Look here. All right. All right. So I think it's because there's this curve in here. I think that this may want to be just a little bit more like that shape. Instead of it curving down. Something gotta figure. Think about And then these are tendon. So those curves are. Yeah, something in that. So I think that means, honestly, that this little too. I think that probably wants. Because then it seems like it's a little bit more able to bear weight. It just seems like they were bent really steep, and in turn hard. Like, you know, if you're standing, it's much harder to stand on a bent leg. So even a horse leg is pretty straight, considering. Just consider the angle. Because you'd have to have a hell of a muscle. A standing position. Which means you probably want we just have a little bit more kinetic action. Super straight. Hemoglobin, melanin. Forward.
Assume they mean file format to upload.
Loud. All right. Totally. Out my toenail.
Well, that's not good.
No, it kind of. So. Now, hopefully you get back to see that. I think that's probably your. It looks great though. And then really nice because you're stylized, but you keep the same stylization throughout the part. That's hard to do. Good job. I would work on the hair a little more, obviously, and just to get so it doesn't look like a potato sack. But like the fact your books and your staff and your armor really retain the same stylization, but then you use a little bit more detail to pull the character out more. I like it a lot. I think your scale level, nice. Yeah, obviously, I would say finish the hair. And then what you might want to think about doing, just because everything is so stylized, you may want to come back in to your scales and do this in like set. And sort of do like sets of 3 or something in that vein, where it it feels like you're still trying to retain the stylization, because all this is like so nice and clean, and then here you get a little rougher. And I don't mind the roughing, I just feel that you want to retain that level of um, intentionality. So by coming through and just picking these and just finding like handfuls of sets of these, so it's like instead of doing each scale, do, you know, every third scale or something like that. And I think that'll allow you to have, continue that clean stylization and be able to retain some of the roughness and scale. Nice. A nice effect. It just sort of feels like, because everything else is so tight, that this is unfinished because you're lacking a little of that intentionality that is in everything else. And you might be able to solve that, like doing them in sets of 3 or something. Just tune some of this up a little, just because all your detail is tight, even on the face. You're doing, you see what I mean? It's sort of like sets of scales. So I'd say the tail's a beautiful block out. Now just come in and tune it up and bring it to the level of this stuff. Just so stylistically it's clean, it's stylized, it feels. Upload the model. Um, if that makes any sense. I'm not sure what you're trying to accomplish on these. Is this tearing out? Um, I think I would probably maybe do it where this is coming over, where this is sort of a skirt, and then maybe have pleats on where this feels like a second wave of the skirt, maybe, and it comes up under. So it feels like maybe this is an under thing here. Once again, all of this is just so clean and tight. This just seems rather arbitrary. is the looking. Just having a figure that's this tight and then all of a sudden it just oddness. So this feels not like it's an afterthought. Come on. Mm-hmm. And see, we're not really answering exactly what, but it's going up and under the tail, so you can't really see it anyway. So having it be, you know, something that this person had tailored for them, as opposed to it being a blowout. See, that at least feels like it was sort of tailored to be there as opposed to just busting out, sort of arbitrarily tearing or something. Um, right. I don't know if that is the solution, but I think it looks better if it seems to be opposed to the little pokey things that aren't really tears. Is it tearing? Is it not tearing? I mean, Sean, it depends on how many hours I mean, you can get great after, a few months if you do nothing but 10 hours a day in ZBrush. You're doing an hour a day. It's going to take you a while. All about mana. Yeah, I would just try to figure out how to make it appear like it's actually a tailored decision, right? Because this all is really tight and it's really clean and really precise. And if you went through this much trouble making straps for your book, I have an odd feeling that you'd come up with some sort of solution not to have your tail blow out. I mean, is it a were creature or is it just someone who close-out dresses. So just, I mean, I don't know if I like that line because that sort of now looks like bustle. I don't know, but I think a tailored solution feels like a better solution. So secondary. Streaming. Um, my mom inevitably calls me. I'm streaming. Right? think I think the tailoring looks great though. A lot of kinetics. I mean the pose is down. Yeah, I think that lowering the, and then that way it sort of feels like it's going along with I mean if we think about what this is doing, right? Should be, I mean, if it is a tailwind coming body, you know, the spines would be that. And I think that makes that look a little bit less like a bustle. And that makes this a much easier skirt issue. No, because ooh. See how that feels. And then that's an easy, you know, that's an easy. See that silhouette annoying. Yeah. Think about how that does that feel. Any other questions? No, Abe, you there still? Okay. But I think that resolves some of that if you make the feel like it. Yeah, that's one of the hardest things is when to stop. Um, if I feel like I am spending too much time on something, um, just set it aside and just start something. Anytime you feel like it's getting melodramatic or weird, you're just do another 10. Um, I would tend to just work on something, just like copy something. Oh, I'm going to sculpt an AirPod, and just work on something that has absolutely nothing to do with what you're working on. It'll break you out of your loop mindset, and uh, yeah, I see glitches in my stream. I keep getting restreamed. It's so frustrating. Let me do this. Okay, these are done. Yeah, I think a lot of it really has to do with just honestly, it's it's discipline. It's how do you um it's really just discipline, in learning how you work, and then developing habits to break the loop habits. There's no real answer. It really comes down to how you deal with how you deal just how you deal with your habits. Sorry, I'm a little distracted with it. I'm having some. Okay. Henry, we did. Yeah, we already did. So that means it's nice and it's always hard when you have the renderings. I wonder. Well, there are pads there. The position is it because he seems to be on his toes, but you're not going to have the bones sitting down. Having the tail come up, it gives you this curve. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly like your directionality of sight on your animal, but you might just want to give a little curve in it there. Just, I know it might bring the head up a little, so that ruins some of the stalking. Maybe there's a way to get the head position the same. Maybe get that little bit of curve in the neck, because it comes here and then this just gets really straight. So I would try to get just a little curve upwards in the neck there, just for flow. Other than that, good. Is that ever?
Did you get?
Yeah, we did Juan and Mac. That's the
Okay.
first one I did.
And then did you get the folder Andre-SAS, which has 2 movies, 2 PNGs, and an STL or ZTL? Upload. Love the aesthetic has got really tiny wasting. Images. Oh, I wonder if they're creating skin. And this is The game
sandbox.
now, yeah, about halfway through this movie, It zooms in on the character and you can actually see them in action and not just from overhead.
So do you think this is like a sandbox for building your own skins? Is that what you think this is?
No, I think this is early alpha of a game in development.
But this is Dota 2 is what.
Yeah, that's what it says.
Like Dota on someone's front lawn? Where's all the... Interesting. Okay, so I don't know what... See, because this says Blender, so the implication is that he made this model. And honestly, it seems stylistically very similar to...
You have a ZTL of that model.
No, this is...
Oh, that's Sakura? Oh, okay. They just packaged them all together.
So, what my assumption from this is that... Because I know you can sculpt Dota skin, right? It seems like... yeah, I was going to say, I don't remember Sakura being this ripped, but like I said, I like it. I mean, I like the model. I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure if what the animation is. Something's going on. Missing some part. Cross belting. Yeah, I think that. Mike's cutting in and out, it seems. Wonderful. Yet another just absolutely banging night streaming.
Woo!
Mode. Angeles, you could be very right. Oh, okay. The W. My audio's dead now. Is that true? Can you hear me?
Hang on, I'm gonna stop listening to you on the Discord and jump to the stream.
No, it's not a crashing problem. It's it has something to do with restream because I keep getting notices in chat that it's cutting out. No, I am. Okay. I'm not quite sure what's going on with the belt thing, but I mean, like the pants are great. It's a lot of fun. I think the character's great. Honestly, there's... I mean, you know, I'd say the legs are low resolution and blah, 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 but you're animating, so that could be very well that. The knee pad They're good. They're not overlapping one another. The fabric on the pants on the outside's nice. I like it. And you're then getting tension. Like the 70s running shorts are great. You're having some weirdness with this center belt thing, but I can only assume that you're going to resolve that. Everything else. Your hands are good and stylized. Elbow pads are nice. Your anatomy is tight. Your facial features are nice. Your hair, the only thing I would say about your hair is take your time. But this is all low res, so I can only assume that it's sort of blocked out. Just make sure that these are behind. Just make sure that if things are behind other things, that they actually go behind them. Right? Don't have crossover. I think those three. Everything else. Yep, just make sure your hair doesn't cross over weird. Like if something's going behind it, make sure it's going behind it. Obviously, hair needs solid. I mean, from what you're doing, you know. Um, you know, you have the low poly stuff, but I don't really want to comment on it because, I mean, you obviously can sculpt in the high poly, so I'm assuming that that's a conscientious choice, or you haven't gotten there yet. Yeah, great. Not much I could say about that, except she is ripped. She's definitely been doing her squats. This actually is a great place for these wrinkles because if she has such pronounced butt cheeks and the crack is there, you're going to get that gap stretching, right? But it's hard to do with that low res, but I think you know what I'm saying. You know, because this is a tight surface, so you're going to get sort of that stretching over it because it's not going to go up the crack. Nope, looks great. I'm definitely going to end early if we can't. I mean, it's annoying the hell out of me that we keep dropping. It's really, really frustrating. Okay, let's look at our tree picture. Oop. Nope. Are these supposed to be wrinkles, like fabric wrinkles? I mean, it looks really good. The wrinkles in the boots look good. I'd have to see the character. I'm not used to seeing this kind of soft fabric thing going on because it looks like it's pleated, right? Like you have stitching on seams and this is soft fabric and that's wrinkling along that. I'd have to see the reference on that, but and he looks a little balanced. Um, Not horrible. Nope. I think what it is it feels like, because the circle's in the way and just how these boots are lying, it feels like this ankle's broken. You see what I mean? It looks like the foot is sitting at a weird angle. But it's not. I think this is okay. Oh, here's a very cool. Thorn bushes came out nice. Oh, nice. Very cool. Neat. So I'd say the next time you do this, this feels like he's behind these vines. You might just want to work it out where the vines are framing him a little more as opposed to just sitting and blocking, right? Where, and it might just be the view we're looking at, because obviously this is more the front view and they are framing him. So I think that could just be, as I say, you might want to give these out a little more room. Right. Just look at those vines and make sure they're framing and not interrupting. Oh, it looks great. Very cool. Looks good. Very, very neat. Not download. Yeah, that view just looks, because that has, yeah, I think that. It's even here, these seem a little crowded. I might have these be a little bit more circular and give them a little bit more room, just so it looks a little less crowded from. Oh, it looks wonderful. You turned out really well. Turned out very, very. Are you happy with it? On my check. Okay. You know, I think he turned out looking really good. Mhm. Did a really good job about keeping these all sort of in order. You may want those to come back behind that, so they're not coming out of, but coming from under. And then you have eyelets here. Make sure that they are going through the eyelets, right? Don't just have an eyelet and then, are these just little stems? You know, make sure that you're coming in and out of your eyelets. Don't be lazy, because this is a really tight, clean model. So you want to make sure that these are, you know, interacting with, if that makes sense. Because you have eyelets, but then nothing's happening. And like I said here, just take the time and punch these under. And punch these under. You know, just make sure if something is going under something, going under it. Your stylization's nice. I like that. You know, even your anatomy, you have realism, but it is distinctly stylized. You do a really good job of not cheesing out on the hair. Congratulations. Because with this much going on, it's real easy to get that weird overlapping, and you don't. It's nice. The hands are great. I like that they're blown out. You know, once again, the anatomy is really tight, but it's still very stylized. And the stylizations, like I said, your stylizations, you know, punching this sort of deep, you know, adding these extra 4 little lumps and, you know, exaggerating these, you know, because it's not really sets of them, but it doesn't matter because the anatomy's tight. And so these feel like stylization. So I think that your level of crispness and the motion is really nice. And this is a grade A cephalopod. Love a mesolayer. That's beautiful. The tension in your muscles and then sort of the relaxation and the bulk. Super tight, man. It's beautiful. All that time and energy on that hair and you couldn't lace your shoes. Your pants may be just a little baggy. Are they supposed to be, if they're supposed to be rubber, like fishing pants, maybe. I think that you might want to give him just a little bit more shape because he is really, you know, and it's just something maybe as simple as, you know, giving him just a little bit of hit, maybe making this a little less dramatic, you know, just giving him a little bit more pose in the pant, right? You see how just changing that a little bit really accents his standing position. And I didn't change that much at all. I think just removing a little bit of the just the straight tube and just punching that pant just a little will really help it give some more of that motion, make it seem like he's sitting in that. Ah, he's beautiful. I know it does that, but you might want to just tone this down just so it doesn't seem so pinched there. And like I said, I know the anatomy may very well do that, but it just keeps it from looking like a separated piece. It just incorporates it just a touch more. And you can see I just clay filled that little bit, just a touch. And it makes it feel like that arm's just a little bit more attached. And I know that with bulk muscle, I think, you know, that you can have those dramatic moments. It's just, I just think it just feels like, you know, this is just a little bit attached now, where it's not just. Yeah. This might come a little more because the shoulder's dropping, but that muscle doesn't really get, like, the distance between the neck and the shoulder doesn't really change, right? You know, this can't get longer. So I think by stretching that out with the delt might, you see how that feels a little bit more like that transition is just the slope. Just make sure, right? Because I pulled that up. Just make sure, you know, because this is going to lump a little. Under hair, not a big deal. But when you're thinking about your anatomy, because it looks like you're twisting your shoulders and you have the twist in the front, right? I mean, this pec's dropping, this here. But if we look here, from here, these are almost in the same. Right? All this is dropping. This is raising, but you're not getting a pinch in the torso. And I think you just get a little bit more torso pinch. This is coming up pretty flat. And so this is a pretty contrapuntal pose. Okay, that's fine. And actually, that might be some of the. So if you think about what's happening, right? This is twisting. And then you're kind of riding in that. Right. So it's pretty contrapposto. But if you look, the center of your back isn't moving. And if we come to the front, right, he's resting into that hip. So he's kind of pinch. Sort of kind of coming up and resting. So your kidney beans, that's coming. That makes sense. There should just be a little bit more because he's sitting, his weight's on the, so that hip should be up a little. So getting more of a pinch on this side, and then get hip lowered, stretching, right? If that makes sense. Because if you're bringing that all the way down here, there's going to be a it's beautiful. Looks awesome, man. Really nice. Hi, housemate, sir. No, it's gorgeous, man. I love your eye. Cool. And no, I just turned everybody. Even from the front of, and then this really want to be a little bit right. So this is the danger of not having a body, even as just a stick body, a full stick body. Like if you know that all this, I would still have something that has just the rough shapes because then you don't lose sight, right? Because if you have the leg posed, like, oh, well, that's too far out. So, okay, well, then how do you bring it back in? Well, you bring it back in by kind of having a bend in it. If that makes sense. Yeah, I think if you really want this to stand on its own, especially without a stand, without a base, um, I think you really need, because this is going to weigh a lot. You're really going to need to pull this leg and maybe skew him. Oh. So you got to think about where your weight is, right? If you're planning on for this to stand. You're going to him, and obviously I'm just skewing this, so you're going to need to get him over more, just because this is a lot of weight, right? Because from center you have to have the same. Right. But I think if you want this to stand on it, especially without a base, he's going hippie. Now you could, I mean, like if this leg came up and under just a little more, that might be able to counterbalance some of the weight of that. So if you like if you like think of the hip and torso position as it is, but think about the octopus being here, leg and hand being here, and this arm being here. You see how that would be more balanced because the octopus is filling in this. But right now he's leaning that way, and so got to figure that you're balanced. Seems pretty heavy. Oh, good. Good. Without a base? Because, I mean, this way it's great. Balance is. Did you shift this leg over some? Or is this the pose that stands well? Rotate the. Get that leg up under that. It's fascinating. Because it seems like he's a lot of weight on. I would have thought you needed to bring that foot under him a little. Knows what I know. I just would have thought, because see how the weight is behind this foot as well. Um, it just seems like if you tap him, he's going to fall back and towards the octopus. It looks solid. I would think you. That's fascinating. If you tap him a little, does he want to go back over that? Ah, you said. I, I'm real persnickety about my things standing. I want them. I want them to be solid. Yeah, no, it looks great. That's awesome. But I would get in the habit of having a full, um, use a full body because you just get a little disjoint. Because, like I said, you're a little disjointed here, and this leg just kind of cocks in a little. Where if you had the full body and you were posing it, happier. 2 thumbs up. Great. All right. No, thank you. Thank you for participating. Uh, is my sound still clicking out and being weird? No. Right? A long way from Pudge. Yeah, actually, that's a very long way from Pudge. No, I really like your stylization. It's really nice work. It's making me nuts. All right, Henry, what do you think? We've done them all.
There's no more files.
What do you mean there's one?
There's no more files.
Oh, I thought you said there's one more file somewhere.
Nope.
I'm gonna have to. I thought I was gonna be able to get together with Kyle today and see what's going on, but this is just. I mean, it's horribly frustrating.
Yep.
I wonder if other people are having this problem or just me, the constant problem child. I'm sure it's just me, isn't it?
Some of it's just you, I'm sure, yeah.
I'm sure it has to be just me. I don't know. I mean, do I have RTX? I don't even know. Henry, do I have RTX voice?
I'm guessing that's some kind of NVIDIA software.
And that's probably no. Or I might. Who knows?
I mean, you have an RTX card.
Yeah. Okay. I guess that unless anybody have any quickie questions or anything, just we're having issues, so I don't want to drag us through a world of nothing working. Kills me. I'd be happy to answer any questions before I decide to kill this thing. No, I don't think. I don't know. I think it's Restream being weird because I keep getting Restream notices. Yeah, no, it's really. Yeah, it's sad. And I'm sure it's me. I would say that it's probably better to bake a marmoset only because that's what a lot of other people. Yeah. And now, see, like everything's here, look. Like in my chat, this just started a little bit. Where now everything's twice. That just started. Yeah. It's being weird.
Very strange.
Very
Well, you got no more files, so.
All right. Well, join me next week when I will hopefully have some of these issues worked out. Join us at join our Discord because a lot of stuff goes on there. And join us at ZBrush Jewelry Workshop. And you can find those books that we were talking about. The one, I scheduled it out where we get a discount for the students, so that's good. No getting discount on Visible Body for students, considering it's a student app. They're like, we're not going to do that to you. Yeah. I think that's all. What do you think?
Like and subscribe.
Oh, damn. See, it's been so long since I've actually made it to the point to say you should like and subscribe. If you like what you see, push like and subscribe. Oh my God. Ridiculous. Ay. Yeah, I'm glad you made it into, you did a lovely model. And thanks everyone for participating. I might sculpt next week. We'll see. I'll try to get together with Kyle and figure out what my issues are, because it's really consistent. I hope it's me, because if it's just a setting, then that's something we can fix. All right. Well, everyone, I hope you have a lovely week and weekend coming. And yeah, I will see you next week, and hopefully it will be a smoother system. Thanks everyone for participating, and yeah, have a lovely night and week and the such. Hit like and subscribe. I will talk to you soon.